but you gon' respect it, cause this is West Texas. Woo!
Well, not a lot of teams around our area, West Texas, want a piece of the Wallhawks, and I can't blame them. 2 years ago, former Sonora head coach Jeff Cordell said, "We'll take them." For starters, props to Bronco Nation for being up to the challenge, but the Wallhawks proved on Friday why they're the brand of West Texas on a night the defense and junior running back Chase Rios put in some work. Well, welcome to the Cover One Studios. I'm Manny Diaz. And the Wallhawks are now 4-0 following Friday's 33-0 shutout win over former district rival Sonora. Coming up, we'll show you the highlights of how the Hawks corralled the Broncos in this one, along with my thoughts of if anyone can crack or has a chance to crack the Hawks defense, plus our Bug Express homecoming sounds of the game. First things first, how about those Chip Cole highlights? To the action, the Walt-Sonora rivalry goes back to 1972. Prior to this one, the Broncos with the edge in the all-time series at 16 wins to 15. First quarter opening drive for the Hawks, Chase Rios getting it cranked up with a nice run here, finally brought down by Wilson Johnson. Later in the drive, they give it to Kai Herbert, and he's headed inside the Sonora 5-yard line. Very next play, Mason Fuchs, the QB1, sneaks it in for the touchdown. 2-point conversion no good, 6-0 Wall. Ensuing Sonora possession, the Broncos forced a punt, and with a guy like Chase Rios on the field, a big play is never out of the equation, and here's why. Check out number 5 here. Takes the punt, finds a crease, and he gone for the 69-yard punt return. An A Newland Play of the Game nominee, 12-0 Wall. Next Broncos possession, Preston Gonzalez finds Brock Aschenbeck, and number 8 picks up a nice chunk of change, but penalties in that Wall defense would end the drive. Hawks back on the grind, and this one quickly turning into the Chase Rios show. The QB1, Mason Fuchs, finds Rios in the flat, and the kid is off to the races. Thule Flanagan saves the touchdown with the tackle inside the Sonora 30-yard line. A few plays later, that Bronco defense answers as Aldo DeLuna and Alex Nino get to Fuchs for the sack. Second quarter now, same drive, Wall going for it on fourth down, and the Broncos come up with a clutch stop. Aldo DeLuna saying hello to Fuchs once again for the sack, turnover on downs. Next Sonora drive, the Broncos facing 2nd and 27. Tough to find plays like that in a run-heavy offense. Gonzalez finds his guy for a 9-yard gain. Broncos would have to settle for the punt. Well, about 4 to go in the half, Sonora with the rock, but the kids from Sutton County lose the handle on it. Wall recovers. Very next Hawks possession, Rios back to work, telling Houston guy here, "Let me spin, coach." Number 5 taking it up the gut, and 34 yards later, he's in for his second touchdown of the night, and it's now 19-0 Wall. Closing moments of the first half, the Wall defense says, "How about us?" Jarring the ball loose, and it's Justice Watkins, Johnny on the spot, taking the rock and heading the other way for the touchdown to make it 26-0 Wall at the break. To the fourth quarter, where it got a little chippy. Hawks with the ball, Kai Herbert breaking off a nice chunk of change, but then brought down well out of bounds on this play. Later in the drive, Hawks go back to Herbert, who absorbed some nice contact, but it was after the play that got him in trouble. Wall backed up 15 yards. But no worries, the Hawks shrug it off as Fuchs goes to the air, hooking up with Connor Diersky, wide open in the end zone, extending the Wall lead even more. Let's check that Texas Bank scoreboard as the Hawks not only hang 33 on Sonora, but shut them out. Going back to the second half of last week's game against Midland Christian, it's now 6 straight quarters that a team has not been able to score on the Hawks. Meanwhile, Chase Rios, the highlight waiting to happen, good for 121 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, while Drew Morrison leading the way with 20 tackles on the night. Well, the Wallhawks just ran away with this one, 33-0 over the Sonora Broncos on Friday night. There for the game. In fact, he wrote about this one. Joe Z. Hyde, San Angelo Live sports writer. Joe, you were very impressed with this Chase Rios punt return. Man, how about that big play?
Chase Rios started things off with a crucial punt return that really set the momentum and got things started for the Wallhawks early. After his return, there seemed to be no chance for the Broncos. Their offense could not put anything together, and it almost seemed insurmountable, even though it was only 2 possessions.
Well, sticking with our guy Chase Rios, you've seen him for about 3 games now. He finished with 121 yards, rushing 2 touchdowns, including that big punt return that we just talked about. Joe, how impressed have you been with this kid?
Well, the offense will go as far as Chase Rios can take them. He's the workhorse for them, even though they give the ball around to different backs. He's definitely the most electric, and he can hit at any moment. He had a 34-yard touchdown run, a punt return, and just really is the cornerstone on offense.
Well, Joe, you're a one-time high school quarterback from the state of North Carolina. You've seen your variety of offenses, but you also said that when this one was all said and done, that the Sonora offense somewhat played into the hands of that Wall defense. Shed some light on that.
Well, it really started with the early advantage that Wall took. Sonora's offense could never come back, and they just didn't quite have the same firepower. The offense that they run is run heavy. They only passed the ball 5 times and just didn't have enough firepower or athletes on the field that they could count on to help get them back in the game. Wall was able to load the box defensively and really just key in on the run. They just really shut them down and put this thing away.
Well, that's Joe Z. Hyde, sports writer for SanAngeloLive.com. Joe, appreciate your time, my man. All right, coming up, my thoughts on if anyone truly has a chance on cracking that Wall Hawks defense. That's coming up, but first, we got to pay some bills around here. Well, it's time for our A Newland Company play of the game, and how about my man Chase Rios? If you give number 5 a crease, forget about it. Dude took the punt here in the first quarter and housed it for a 69-yard return for a touchdown. Should be a disclaimer for teams matching up against the Hawks in weeks to come. You might want to keep it away from number 5, FYI. I don't know, just something to think about. Meanwhile, the Rios punt return is good for this week's A Newland Company play of the game. Well, Chase Rios no doubt went off on Friday night for 2 touchdowns and a team-high 121 yards rushing. But it was once again the Hawks defense that shined, pulling out a shutout win. Which begs the question, is there anyone that can crack the Wall defense? If you ask me, I don't think there's a team on the Hawks schedule until we arrive to Week 9 when they match up with 4-star prospect Baron Morton and the Eastland Mavericks for what looks to be for the district title if both teams can stay on track. Through 4 weeks this season, the Mavs are averaging 48 points per game, while nobody has been able to put up more than 14 points on the Hawks. This Wall team is no doubt a special one, but the way they've been able to dictate games defensively, oh, it's something to watch. I know we're about a month away from the showdown with Eastland, but it's that matchup against the Mavs that will show us not only how good, but disciplined the Hawks are when it counts the most. Well, that's going to do it for Week 4. The Wall Hawks continue to prove why they are the team to beat, but don't for one second sleep on the kids from Sutton County. Despite what we saw, the Broncos' ground attack has some serious potential. Well, coming up in Week 5, the Cover 1 Mix Show will be hanging out with the kids from Cisco and Ballinger out in Runnels County in a showdown that could potentially decide a district champion. No doubt should be an exciting game to watch. But before we leave you tonight, how about those Bug Express sounds of the game from homecoming night out in Wall? Always a good time. All right, for the Cover 1 San Angelo Live crew, I'm Manny Diaz. God bless. We'll see you in Week 5.
Crowning our queen tonight is the 1969 homecoming queen, Jean-Anne Block LeGrand. She is escorted tonight by the 1969 homecoming king, Eddie Holland. Congratulations.